Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share a tournament game that I played at the Parma Chess Club um, just yesterday against Darrington Gladman. Um, it's been a good 2, 3 weeks since I played an over the board tournament game, just basically because work got busy and I got tired. But it felt really good to be on a real chessboard again, playing some chess. So, this game, and plus Darrington's a really great person and a joy to play. So, e4, c6. So, I'm facing the Caro-Kann. So, I went d4. And d5 is what he played. That's the whole point of why black plays c6 like that. So, I like to take and play c4. And this is called the Panov attack. And this is where I make my joke that I've had my dealings with panic attacks, and I like Panov attack better. All right, so knight f6, knight to c3, and e6. Yeah, I was curious how he might approach this position, but I wasn't too shocked. Darrington, from what I know of him, he tends to like to play a little bit passive in the opening, and he tries to do more of a hyper-modern type approach to positions. And he's quite good at it, too. But e6 is what I would expect from him. I think one of the most interesting ways that black could play is to hold off on e6 and go here. And let's see, I would go knight f3, and then they can go bishop b4. And this is in that Fischer Uwe game, which is on my channel if you wanted to see it. I think it's called a theoretical scuffle. But after takes, queen b3, I get positions like this a lot. Yeah, like you take on double isolated f-pawns. But in return, we're very active and we get to grab that pawn, and this is a crazy line. But anyway, after e6, this is a more modest approach. Knight f3, bishop e7, and I took on d5. Now, usually black will take with a knight. Part of what black wants to do is play against my isolated queen pawn. So I have gone into this. I accepted an isolated queen pawn. So one way to play against it is to blockade it with a knight. So that's one reason that they play that move. The other reason is that if you capture with a pawn, then then black has an isolated queen pawn too. So, but it does open up the bishop. So I think the move's okay, but let's see what the engine says about it. Yeah, it likes both about equally. Okay. So takes bishop d3. Okay, so I was out of theory at this point. I think it's interesting that the main move here is actually bishop b5 check. I might consider this next time. This move didn't look right to me at first because I was like, well, okay, I understand that if knight c6, we can probably go like knight e5. That looks a little bit annoying, I guess. I guess black could castle there. Wow. I guess, white has a slight edge here. Nothing more than that. And then, but I was thinking, what if they do this? Well, I guess we take, and after queen takes, knight e5 is a tempo on that queen. The queen could go, I don't know, let's say d6. Yeah, and I guess this does look kind of nice for white. Yeah, I don't know. White's better developed. White has a knight on e5. And both sides have an isolated queen pawn. Okay, interesting. So that's a different way I could play. But I went bishop d3, which is basically my normal move. He castled, and I played h3. And National Master Michael Jolson will say, "You really like that move h3, don't you?" And I'll say, "Yeah, but it's the top engine move." That happens like every game we look at. All right, and then a6. So I think here, you know, I honestly think maybe a6 isn't right. I don't feel like knight b5 is a threat. And if the idea is a6, b5, which is what he goes for in that game, I actually think maybe that's a little unnecessary. No, I could be wrong, actually. I was going to say the bishop has scope this way already. So putting the bishop on b7 isn't totally necessary. But on the other hand, where can he go? That's part of why I liked bishop d3. I took away the only good square left. So let's see what the engine says for black. Yeah, it says bishop d6. Interesting. It also likes rook e8, and it likes knight c6. Yeah, knight c6 is a no-brainer move. And then I'm just curious, what does the computer want to do with that bishop? Looks like it wants to put it on e6. Yeah, that's fine. It protects the pawn. It's developed. It's not the best square ever, but it's okay. All right, let's turn the engine back off. Yeah, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, but this just might be the best game that I've ever played. So get ready for this. After a6 castles, he did go b5. So he wants to go bishop b7. I was also a little concerned with b4, but not really. I thought, you know, maybe knight a5 is fine. Or maybe rerouting my knight could be okay. I don't know. Bishop f4. So getting my last piece into the game. And that bishop looks pretty good, doesn't it? And yeah, and then knight bd7. I think this move is a little too mechanical, maybe. I've seen Darrington do this before, and it's probably not that bad. But I feel like, why not put the knight on c6? Like, that's where the knight wants to be, pressuring my pawn. Maybe he'll jump in. He'll stop my knight at e5. Like, I feel like that's the correct square for that knight. This one, maybe his idea was to jump the knight in and then put this knight on f6. But that might be a little slow. So if we check with the engine, let's see. Yeah, the engine likes rook e8 and bishop e7. Knight c6 is the third move, though. And it says white is +1 here. After this move, it says white is plus 1.8. So yeah, let's call that an inaccuracy, I guess. Almost a mistake. Okay. So now I find these Panov attack positions, these middle games, I find them very interesting. So usually you put your rook on e1 because that's an open file. So I did that. That wasn't too hard. Then he went bishop e7. So okay, how do I want to proceed here? I've got some different options. I could go knight e5. Now knight e5 does undefend my pawn, so I gotta be a little careful. Sometimes bishop e5 is played in these types of lines. Rook c1 is a little automatic. a3 is a move, but a slow move. So let's see what I did. I went with rook c1. Let's see what the engine says. Oh yeah, okay, I remember this when I analyzed this. Here's a new idea I didn't think about. a4. Now, truth be told, I did think about this during the game, and I thought after b4, I'm not sure where my knight should go. So let's turn on the engine. Yeah, it likes knight a2, which is just like, I don't play chess like this. Like knight a2 here. I'm not too happy about my knight, but it says white is better. Like plus 1.2 better. Let's go with knight e2. Okay, if knight e2, and let's make a move that makes sense for black, maybe like rook e8. Then I go knight g3, I guess, or a5. a5. Yeah, this is playing positionally. That's what this is. Because you play a5 to make b4 like a major target, because now this pawn cannot protect that pawn anymore. That means this pawn will have to be protected by pieces. And we could fix the pawn maybe with b3 and then start attacking it. I'm not sure how. Actually, I might go queen b3 and bishop d2, and we could attack it like that. And it doesn't look all that easy to defend. So wow, different approach by the computer that I didn't take too seriously. Anyway, I liked rook c1. Computer likes that too, though. Okay, rook c8. Yeah, I had nasty intentions with rook c1. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I was thinking about this kind of stuff. I was like, maybe I'll do that. Like knight takes b5 and possibly stuff like that. But he played rook c8, which makes sense. And I jumped my knight in with knight to e5. So this is my one inaccuracy of the game. Yeah, isn't that great? That's not like my normal games, like mistake every other move. 10 inaccuracies, 3 mistakes, 3 blunders. That's how my games normally are. But this is my only inaccuracy of the game. And let's try to understand why. Knight e5 felt like a natural way forward. I wanted to clear f3 for my queen. I was even considering queen g3, but not right away because of knight h5. And I thought, well, I'm putting my knight in the center, how bad could that be? My famous line. And if he takes, you know, I don't have an isolated queen pawn anymore, and I'm attacking the knight, dislodging it off that nice defensive post on f6. So I liked knight e5, but what did that engine want here? Okay, wait, before we check, let's try to find some other moves. I encourage you to do the same. I definitely thought about a4. I definitely thought about queen b3. And I thought about a3. But that's probably not good. I mean, what else should I do? I mean, I could go bishop e1. That's a move I play, but it doesn't feel necessary. I usually do that if I need more protection on d4. But that would create a battery. And another move I could consider is this, but that didn't seem right. Okay, let's see what the engine wants. After rook c8, it wants a4, queen b3, or rook c2. Wow. Rook c2? What the heck? We're gonna do that? I'm looking down the line and I don't see. Okay, it took rook c2 off. Wow, a3 is listed. Yeah, a3 is stopping this. But a3 does, you know, create weaknesses over here a bit. I don't see how he... I don't know, like a3, knight b6. You know, and then if the knight jumps in, b3 is harder to play because maybe he could take. So I didn't like a3 for that reason. But a4, again, this move, it wants knight a2. Wow. So this is clearly an idea that I need to know. Now, I thought he would go here. And then it says White's like winning. Oh, check it out. It's all about the bishop on e7. This guy. The queen's overworked. They have to take with a bishop. Like, see that? Like, that's not good. So you got to take with a bishop. That's not where that bishop wants to be. So now we go queen c1. Because now we're threatening rook takes bishop, queen takes. Wait, are we? What are we threatening? We're not threatening that. What are we threatening? Oh, I think we're threatening this, actually. And then after queen here, that bishop is pinned. Oh, then we could take queen. No, still can't do that. Because this rook defends that bishop. Huh. Okay, let's just see what's going on here. Queen c1. Okay, let's just say the knight jumps in, because that looks reasonable to me. Yeah, bishop c7. Okay, queen here. And then... oh, we're pawn hunting. Yeah, we're pawn hunting. That's what we're doing. This is totally winning for white. Wow. So I have to keep some of these positional ideas in my mind. I'm always trying to kill black. I don't know. I did not even consider playing like that. That's definitely what I've learned from this game. Okay, I went knight e5, which is still, white's still better. I mean, it's a fine move. It's just not the best move. Okay, let's turn the engine off. Rook e8, queen f3, knight f8, and there is no mate. And Darrington said that to me, and I said, no talking. No, just kidding. He didn't even say that. Okay. So in this position, I found a nice idea, because now that the knight's not there, now that rook is vulnerable to bishop f5. So that looked reasonable to me, because now if I go bishop f5, where does that rook go? You know, if he goes here, he's in line with this bishop. That can't be good. If he goes here, he gets captured. Yeah, there's like nowhere for him to go. If he goes here, he's in line with the bishop. So he has to go rook a8, and that's a sad move to make. So I definitely wanted to play bishop f5, and he did go rook a8. And now how do we continue? So if you want to pause your video and guess the move that I played here, go ahead and do so now. Now, this is a funny part of the game, because I played knight takes f7. And my idea was that after king takes, I would go check. And I thought, you know, the king's going to come out here, and I've got queen g3, and he's going to get mated. And then I realized, you know, the knight's on f8, and like on a real chessboard, he was kind of like hidden behind the king. He must like, he just like escaped my view somehow, and I just forgot about him there. So after king takes f7, I got like panicky. That's why it's called panic attack. And I was like, oh no, I blundered. Like, wow. But I was like, well, you know, my position's good though. I mean, I probably, you know, could do something. So I searched the board for a while, and I found a nice follow-up. Knight takes b5. So I'm just sacking everything like a crazy person. Well, because sometimes I'm a crazy person. And if he takes the knight, the idea was bishop c7. And I do believe that queen is trapped. And if he wants to take, then I get 2 pawns and a queen for my 2 knights and a bishop. But my pieces are super active, and his king's vulnerable. And Well, let's see if I was right about this. Computer says white is winning. Yay. So, yeah, crazy, right? But that's how I play chess. I'm not going to go a4 and go positional. I like this. All right, so knight takes b5. He played bishop b4. That's a pretty testing move because it does attack my rook, and by the way, he's threatening that. And well, I don't really have time for knight c7, which was kind of what I wanted to do. And I still can't go knight d6 because the bishop's still guarding that. So I had to decide what to do here, and I decided on taking that rook, followed by knight c7. Now, I thought if he takes with the queen, that can't be good. Why did I think that? Probably just that. That looks reasonable to me. Let's see what the engine says. Yep, it's good. All right, and so he has to take with a knight, and then I played knight c7 anyway because I figured he can't take with the queen really, and if he takes with a knight, that's a fork, right? And if he doesn't take with the knight, then I'm on his rook. His rook will have to move. And then I remember I had some crazy ideas here. But what were they? I don't know. Let's get the engine's help because I'll have to go soon. Yeah, if you move the rook, what was I going to do? Oh, I forgot. I could take it, so he can't do that move. That's funny because I stared at that move a lot during the game too and realized that he can't play that. So, okay. Yeah, I kind of fell into this chess game. But anyway, he did take, and so I got the fork, and now I thought this position must be good for me. I'm going to get the bishop, and after king g8, I almost played this move too. I almost did. Because I thought if he takes my rook, I've got check. And how could this not be good for me? I mean, this is a mating attack. So I almost did go for this. I wasn't exactly sure what to do though. After something like king f7, yeah. King f7. Now, I have discoveries. There must be some nice options here, but I wasn't sure. I didn't see it to mate or anything like that, and I didn't see a win of material. I still don't. So I actually ruled this out because, well, I didn't have much time on my clock. But it turns out that move is winning, too. But I played this move, which is the best move. Take the bishop. Now I'm on his other bishop. So he brought the bishop back, saving it. And then I got to play this move. Rook takes bishop because, well, tactics. Queen takes rook, queen takes d5 check. That's a fork. So he blocked with this queen. Once again, I calculated this. I almost did it because he cannot take with the king because I would win the queen. So he would have to take with the knight, and I thought this is still good too. But I kind of thought, why do that? I calculated this other line that looked pretty clean, which was just queen takes rook, queen takes bishop, and then bishop d6, attacking the pinned knight. Now that queen has to keep defending the knight, or she could check me. But I already saw that there really wasn't any checks. There's that, and then I go here. That's it. My bishop's got this whole diagonal. The queen's on light squares. So this actually did happen. here, here, and then queen takes f8. Because even I can win this endgame. So I had a minute left, and I did manage to win pretty easy from here. But so you're not going to believe this, but this is why this might be the best chess game I've ever played. But I think I was lucky that that's the case, because I didn't see a lot of stuff. And I actually played knight takes f7 with a totally different idea in mind. So, you know, that could count as a blunder usually, but here knight takes f7 was the top engine move, believe it or not, followed by knight takes b5. So if I show you guys the graph, can you see that? Yeah, okay, you can see that. I mean, the graph looks great, and, well, check out the stats. 1 inaccuracy, an average cent upon loss of 8. I mean, usually when I see stats like that, I start thinking that the person was using an engine during their game, you know? So I am really happy about that, especially, but also it was a fun game and one of my better wins. So I hope you enjoyed the game. I'll share the other 2 games from Parma last night. I actually did win my quad, spoiler alert. But there's also a lot to learn from these games, so that's what we'll do. All right, this is Stacia, and I will see you next time. Bye.